So good day everyone. My name is Elrose P. Rivera and I am Bachelor of Science Secondary Education major in Biological Science. And I am the last reporter of the cognitive development of infants and toddlers. And now let's go to language development. It varies considerably between children, even with the same family. However, children tend to follow the normal progression for mastering the skills of language, and there are certain milestones that can be identified as a rough guide for a normal development. So how does speech develop over time? Babies need to learn how language sounds before being able to learn how to speak. Although there are individual children develop at their own rate, but there are some general patterns. These are the general patterns. 1 to 3 months, babies cry and coo. 4 to 6 months, babies sigh, grunt, giggle, squeal, laugh, and make different crying sounds. 6 to 9 months, babies babble in syllables and start making or imitating tones and speech sounds. 12 months, baby's first word usually appear. 18 months to 2 years old, babies use 50 words and start putting the two words together. And it refers to the telegraphic speech. Now let's go to language acquisition development or LAD. Language development supports many other aspects of development like cognitive, social, and literacy development. Language development starts with sounds and gestures, then words and sentence. You can support language development by talking a lot with your child and responds when your child communicates. Reading books and sharing stories is good for language development. If you are worried about language development, talk with a child and health professional. So what is infants and toddlers can do cognitively? The first one is the language. 0 to 6 months, babies gurgling, cooing, bubbling, or other vocal sounds. Use gestures and pointing. 7 to 12 months, babies repeat sounds produced by others. Like for example, when their mama and papa told something and they start copying it. For the animals, and they start doing meow meow for cats. And now let's go to 13 to 18 months. Babies speak in single words like yes or no, use gestures to indicate he or she wants. Now, let's go to 19 to 24 months. Babies uses pronouns, says what he or she without gestures because 13 to 18 months is with gestures. 19 to 24 months is without gestures. Now the second one is pre-reading and pre-mat. 7 to 12 months, baby is able to match two identical objects, just like for example, 2 spoons and 2 bowls, and 2 forks and 2 books. 19 to 24 months, babies matches identical pictures and objects, and also does rote sequencing. And they are able to recite alphabets and numbers with errors, gaps, and prompts. And now let's go to the domain cognitive development. Baby is able to sustain attention and modulate. 0 to 6 months, baby looks steadily and at novel stimuli. Like for example, they rattle or they dangling toys. 7 to 12 months, baby is able to sit through an entire meal without fussing. 13 to 18 months may be distracted but responds to refocus. And now there are 5 higher ordered mental abilities. And the first one is the concept formation. The second one is the cause and effect relationship. The third one is logical reasoning. The fourth one is the creative thought. And the fifth one is the planning and organizing. Now let's go to the concept formation. It pertains to object, constancy, space, time, quantity, and duration. Now, 0 to 6 months, babies looks in direction of the fallen object. Like for example, a toy falls from the table down to the floor, and the baby starts to look for it and where it goes because of the sounds of it. Now, the 7 to 12 months, babies look partially and completely to the hidden objects. Like for example, when their toys falls under or behind the table or behind the chair, they're partially, where is it? In their mind, where is it? Where did it fall? Where did it go? And now the next one is the 13 to 18 months. Babies hands over one object when they are asked. Like for example, can you give me your toy? Can I have your toy? Can I borrow your toy? So they can give it easily. They can handle it to you easily. The last one is the 19 to 24 months. Babies can tell which shorter or taller, bigger and nearer between two items. Like for example, you tell them the big box and the smaller box. They can finally choose where is the big one and where is the smaller one. And now the second one is the cause and effect relationship. Baby is able to understand cause and effect. Now, 0 to 6 months acts as an object to achieve an objective. 7 to 12 months uses spoon to reach an object or to reach what they want. And also babies ask why questions to understand reasoning behind, for example, daily practices. The example of daily practices is that washing his or her hands before meal, and the safety rules practices at home. Now the third one is logical reasoning. They are being able to follow the logic of events, like reasons why this happened. For example, you ask them about they broke a toy. Why this happened? How can you do this? How this is, what would be the reason why you broke it? Then they start reasoning that because it happens, mom, because if it falls from the ground, it falls from me, I broke it, just like that. That's the logical reasoning. They start building words or a sentence just to give an answer to your question. And now the fourth one is the planning and organizing. They are being able to plan and organize simple, familiar activity. Like for example, from the word organizing, they organize the word, yung bahay-bahayan. That bahay-bahayan word, they can organize it, they can plan it, and the other example is that they can play around the house with the other child. Like, let's play tagu-taguan. Let's play bahay-bahayan. That's the planning and organizing of an toddlers and an infant. And now the last one is the creative thoughts. They are being able to generate new ideas or concepts or new associations between existing ideas or concepts. And this is for 19 to 24 months. They enjoyed constructing objects of structures out manipulative toys. Like for example, they can play blocks. They can play clay. And they can play a sand or a paper. By the word creative, they can start being creative in their mind. Like the clay, they can form it as an animal. A sand, they can form it a castle. In the paper, they can form it as an airplane. That's it. Now the last part of my topic rather is the true memory in a concept-based knowledge. So the first one is the episodic memory. They are being able to recall he or she met. 0 to 6 months, they are smiling someone he or she met somewhere who does not live in their home. 13 to 18 months is the recognition of familiar places. Like for example, they have been to the park. And then when you go the other day you go to the park. And then next month you go again to the park. And they start telling you, "Mom, I remember this place. I remember that thing. I remember that this and that." Just like the 12 to 24 months, child recalls on somewhere been there before. Been there before. And the last one in the memory concept-based knowledge is the semantic memory. They are being able to store verbal information in short and long-term memory. Like for examples, memorize some gestures of an action song. Ayan na. Let's go to the Cocomelon. They can start doing it when you just the first word or the first thing or the first tone or the first sounds they hear. Just for example, you play the wheels on the bus. They can easily recognize it. They can easily say that this is the wheel on the bus, Mom. I can sing it. I can dance with it. And that's all.